Hello, I'm Rebecca. I am here in front of our Winnebago Spirit 25B. The Spirit is basically a Minnie Winnie. We have owned this motorhome for 3 years, and we've taken it on trips that are just short weekend trips. We have also lived in it for 6 to 7 weeks at a time before returning back to our home base. We have taken it in places where we have had no tow. We also, in the beginning, used a tow dolly and towed a car that was not a flat tow. And then after doing that for a while, we decided we would prefer a blue aux system with a flat tow of a Jeep. And so that is our current setup. Through a process of living in our camper for a month and a half at a time, we've made a few internal modifications, and I wanted to share today what those were, as well as sharing a few tips on internal organization that have helped us to manage as a family of 4 and 2 dogs traveling in a camper with no slide outs that is about 26 feet long. There is a tip that we have just recently tried. It's taken us years to find this, and so be sure to stay to the end to find out what that is. So the first internal modification that we made is when we first got the camper, this panel, as soon as you walk in the door, was fully enclosed, and the only way to get into the under the bench compartment that is under the banquette seats was to lift up the cushion. The seat belts, however, are connected there, and as we have 2 kids, we use those seat belts, and it just makes it difficult to get in and out of. And so my husband went ahead, as stressful as this was, and cut a hole in that panel so that as soon as we come in, we have a place to put our shoes. We put down indoor-outdoor carpet inside of there, and I've even measured closely to get a shoe rack so that we can put flip-flops on the top and then just regular shoes on the lower rack, and then the kids can just put their shoes right in the front. We also have a magnetic light under there that you can charge with a USB cord. And so again, being able to look in there to kind of see where are our shoes and all of that has just been helpful. I also have taken to tucking bug spray and sunblock just over to the right inside that shoe compartment so that as we are running out the door, I can just grab the bug spray and the sunblock, and I'm not looking for it in various locations. It's just in a baggie tucked right in there. Having that place where we can just immediately put our shoes once we get inside has been a godsend. The next other, what I would say, pretty big modification that we made was hanging a curtain in front of the back bed. So we travel with a teenager and a preteen, and they both are really looking for having their privacy. And we completely understand that and respect that. My preteen sleeps in the cab that is over the driver and passenger seat and engine, and that automatically comes with a sliding curtain. And so my youngest has a little nest. You can climb up the ladder, go on into that area, close the curtain, there's a window, and it's just a very private area. My oldest teen sleeps in the back bed. There's no privacy back there. We decided to try command hooks with wooden closet rod that has eye bolts screwed into it. I have curtains that I had made years ago that worked actually for length and width, and so we just used one of those old curtains and now can just roll up the bar when we're not using it, and there's room on the side of the back bed that it can just lay rolled up, and then when we want that privacy, we just unroll it, and it's very easy. Even for me, who is 5'1", I can still reach up and get those eye bolts over top of the command hooks. It seems to have worked really well for creating this sense of privacy. So for the organizational tips, there are a couple. First of all, we really love having rugs in the entryway and the bathroom. They do collect dirt, but that's kind of the point, is that a camper gets dirty, especially since we have 4 people and 2 dogs. Dirt just gets inside the camper immediately. You can sweep it, somebody moves, and then there's dirt. And so in this way, the rugs kind of collect that. I can just fold them up, take them outside, shake them, and lay them out. They're also a place for the dogs to lay right by the door. They can get, when we have the door open, they can get fresh air, see what's going on. I also mentioned command hooks earlier. We really use command hooks a lot in the camper. We've hung them up in front of the doors so that we can put keys and other things in there. We use command hooks to hang little baskets so that we can store our electronics when they're plugged in, because sometimes the cords aren't long enough, and it just keeps them out of the way. We use command hooks in our bathroom. We also have used in the main long closet that is to the left of the kitchen. We have hung some closet organization so that we can each use our packing cubes. Each person has a different color packing cube and has a different level in that closet hanger. But even within there, we also have command hooks. We hang our shower bags in there. If we're at a campground and don't have access to water or even being able to dump, once all 4 people takes a shower in this, our gray water tank is almost full. And so if we are outside a lot and want to be able to take some quick showers, we're typically going to the campground shower, and we need bags to throw in our clean clothes, to throw in any shampoo and soap that we need. And so this way I just hang those shower bags right in the closet. Everybody knows which one is theirs and they grab it and can go. A couple other organizational tips that I would have is that when we park, we put up a magnetic windshield cover that goes all the way around the front of the camper. If we're staying somewhere for a long period of time, we put that up, and then we can access the front seat. Our hiking backpacks go up there. My books that I bring with me will go up there. The kids each have a backpack that has all of their cameras and devices and any games that they're bringing. They leave those in their backpacks, and they're just right in the front seat, and they know where to go to get those. And so utilizing that front seat area in a camper that is this small, when we have 4 people and 2 dogs, is crucial for storage while we're actually living somewhere. If we are not staying somewhere for a long period of time and we're just traveling and we've stopped at a rest area or a truck stop to sleep for the night, there is an original kind of felt curtain that snaps in where that front cab area is exposed to anyone who walks by, but we have some privacy. If we have lights on in the camper, people can't see in from that front spot. And I just roll that up and keep that behind the couch for emergencies or, like I said, when we're traveling. I mention this in every video that we do, but the purchase of a Berkey filter to use in our camper has been the most important purchase we've made since getting the camper. So we usually have access to potable water no matter where we are, even if we don't have electric or water hookup or sewer hookup. There's usually somewhere that we can get potable water. But a lot of times there's different tastes and minerals in that water. Maybe it's been treated with chemicals depending on if it's city water or not. And because we're used to a kind of filtered water experience, we love having the Berkey where wherever we are, we're not that concerned about, well, what is the water, what's in it, because we just filter it through the Berkey. Okay, lastly, as far as interior organization and kind of managing the inside. When we first got the camper, I measured the beds. I got specific sheets that would match the front. Over the cab bed is a weird dimension because it's not a normal bed size. The back bed is also not really a normal size. It's a little bit shorter than beds usually are. But I measured it. I made sure to get sheets that fit. I got comforters. It looked so nice inside the camper. But for functionality, having sheets and a comforter, again, for 4 people, it just wasn't working. If it was hot, you were like pushing the whole comforter down to the bottom. It was difficult to keep clean. It just wasn't working. And so my husband suggested sleeping bags. And I balked at first because I thought, well, it's not very aesthetically pleasing. What if it is hot in the camper and you've got this like huge sleeping bag? However, a couple of things changed my mind. Number one, we do at some point want to also be able to camp out of our Jeep. And if we're doing that, we will need sleeping bags. And so to travel with comforters and sheets as well as sleeping bags just feels very redundant and like it's taking up precious space. Number two, we also started discussing the idea of finding sleeping bags that you could zip together, so it really does feel like it's like a comforter and not such a sleeping bag feel where you're like inside of it. But I was very particular about what sleeping bags we were looking for. We don't like the mummy style, and that obviously wouldn't zip together. I don't like the slippery fabrics that sleeping bags now have, which I'm sure is based on being able to decrease bulk. And so we really were looking for something that was specific, something that was cotton, durable, would zip together, wasn't mummy, all of that. And it took a long time. We did find them at Cabela's, but they were expensive. So we waited until we had a sale and could use points to really get the price down as much as possible. We bought them in increments. And so we're using sleeping bags and it's working really great. So hopefully this has given you some ideas. I realize that cutting a hole in the panel under the bench when you first come in is a little bit intimidating, and it's probably the most extreme interior modification we've made, but it is the one that we use the most. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.